YouTube channel. I hope you are doing well, and today I thought I'll make me some coffee and sit and talk about two books that I read recently. One is The Premonition by Banana Yoshimoto, and the second is A Death in Tokyo by Keigo Higashino. These two books are two sides of Japanese literature. One talks about suspense, murder, gets darker every chapter, and the other is the Premonition, which is about healing, which is about nostalgia, the the urge to find the truth, to actually find stillness and happiness in life. And I thought I will talk about the contrast that Japanese literature actually has within itself. And these two books highlight the contrast in between these two genres. So let's dive in. So, the first book that I have today and that I want to talk about is A Death in Tokyo by Keigo Higashino. So, Keigo Higashino is also known as the king of Japanese literature crime fiction. And how the story starts is with a guy who has been stabbed near the Nihonbashi Bridge in central Tokyo, and no one knows who did it. That is how the story initially starts, with them start the Tokyo police gets involved and they start investigating who actually did it. One by one, they start meeting the suspects. Uh, and the book is not only about who did it, the book also talks about why that person did what he did. And that one line, when a book explains the situation maybe the suspect is in, and and somewhere in the back of your mind you actually start defending the suspect, saying, oh, maybe he did this because, yeah, this is like the right thing to do. That is something you will come across in this book. But again, with every chapter, there are new people being introduced, there are new stories being unraveled, and once you dive in and start actually reading this, you will understand what a gem of work this is and how beautifully the story has been written. The book personally for me doesn't. I personally love it when there are no much action scenes happening or nothing like that. Is taking up space in the book when you read it, but without the action scenes, what will actually make keep you thinking is how logically the story has been written, and this logic is blended with the emotions of every character that you have come across in the book. The book doesn't just revolve around the suspects and the victim's family, but it also talks about the two detectives who are actually investigating this whole murder plot, and how these two are cousins, and how they have their personal issues going on side by side in their life, how they are trying to emotionally cope up with stuff, but on the other side have to actually investigate and figure out who the murderer is for them to close the case. That is something I liked about this book. If you ask me, I would say Japanese literature outstands Western literature on this very point, where the emotional uh, point of view comes into stories. The way they talk about emotions, the way they portray emotions, every person's emotion is something I have not read in. I have read very little in Western literature, and that is why if you ask me if this was a good read, absolutely, this was like one of the best reads of my of this year for me, of 2025. And if you ask me, I would give this somewhere around 4.75 out of 5. I would definitely recommend this. You can read it whenever you are in the mood to read some suspense story or murder mystery. You don't have to have build up your mood for this one. So yeah, with that I will end my review on this book and move forward to the second book that I have, that is The Premonition by Banana Yoshimoto. This guy And this book has a very simple plot, a very nostalgic plot, a plot that talks about healing, about love, about uh, about memories that have shaped you, about the past that you don't remember, you want to remember but you don't remember, and uh, how it leaves the protagonist in the turmoil and she's trying to get out of it, to figure out what actually happened in her life. That is where how this book stands out for me. When you read this, it's like a warm blanket around you. It is like um, it will leave you emotionally numb. You will float within the story. You will float with the you will float within the story with the character. You will somewhere put yourself on her place and imagine what would have happened if this happened to you. um, a very simple story doesn't have a very complex plot, doesn't have a very complex plot, very simple story. Again, I would say it's a very simple story. um, but but how meaningful it is written by Yoshimoto is like hats off. This guy this guy knows how to actually write without actually writing anything. That I would say that, and I'd get that, and I will give that to the writer. If you ask me to rate Premonition, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. um, it is a good read, and also also read it when you are in the right mood to read something healing. I would say you need the mood to actually read this one. um, it won't take more than 1.5 day for you to read it, even if you have work to do. but uh, but regardless, please be in the right mood and then give this a try, and I guarantee you will definitely love this one. So these two books, the first one, okay, so these two books that we have here, I don't know how they come under Japanese literature even after having such a huge contrast between them. On one side we have the Premonition, which is about nostalgia, healing, love, about quieting, about a quiet reflection of life. And on the other side we have Death in Tokyo, which is dark, mysterious, has a lot of suspense around, logically written, a puzzle that actually is waiting for us to solve. And I think that is what I love about Japanese literature. um, they will leave you emotionally numb for quite a long time and definitely stay with you for maybe months. Also, I was reading this when um, I had a lot of work last week, and I was reading this one last week. And I what I did was I downloaded the audiobook side by side. So for me it was sometime on the audiobook when I was actually working, and on the other times I was in the reading the book. So the experience, like, I mean, if you ask me the experience of how I liked it, I would say it was really good, because um, I did not have to waste much time and I was able to complete this book sooner. So it was a good experience overall. So those were my thoughts on A Death in Tokyo and The Premonition. And I hope you liked this video, and if you did, do leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely make more such videos for you guys, as well as for me and my reading journey. If you guys have any other suggestions for me, please leave them in the comment section and I will definitely check them out. No matter what, I will check them out. And yeah, if you guys have any other suggestions for me, do leave them in the comments and I will definitely check them out, no matter what. uh, Thank you guys for staying, and I hope you guys have a great weekend ahead. Bye.